All praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to our apostle elders which rule great millstone well. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure unto the end. Shalom wa abba babal. Alright, so as everyone's heard about this submarine that went missing with billionaires aboard. All right, when you go into who was aboard this submarine, who was in this submarine when it went missing. All right, there was a billionaire from India that actually spoke at the WEF, World Economic Forum. All right, so don't be shocked if you hear some controversy come out about this submarine and the people that were on it. Right here on Reuters, it says who's on board the missing Titanic sub, which the sub is known as Titan. Okay, it says a 5-person submersible vessel taking tourists on a $250,000 trip to see the wreckage from the 1912 Titanic disaster, 12,500 feet under sea, is missing in the Atlantic off Canada, right? And it's been coming out how the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds, they're the ones that sank the Titanic.
Titanic was actually a hit job. All the richest people in the world in 1912 were supposed to be on this ship. You had the Rothschilds and their basically lackeys at that time who were called J.P. Morgan. And all of these guys were supposed to be on this ship, but there's also another guy who was on that ship. His name was Mr. Uster. He was the richest man in America at that time. He owned 40% of every mortgage in America. Imagine, this guy's a gangster. I'm not saying he's a good guy. Mm-hmm. But basically, this guy was in the way of the Federal Reserve. They wanted to create a central bank, the Rothschilds, and they couldn't. They already owned Europe, but they didn't own America yet. Yeah. So they need to create a central bank. So what they did was, they can't just take someone out of that importance. So what they basically did was they made this big deal of everyone going on the ship. Yeah. And then in the last seconds, all the Rothschilds people exited the ship. Like right before it was about to take off, they exited. So here's what happened. Yeah. The ship sunk. All of a sudden, the richest guy in America died on the ship. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, all the politicians who he was basically bribing, all that money evaporated. Yeah. And then next year, 1913, they started the Federal Reserve Bank because there was no more opposition to it.
They built a ship of death called the Titanic.
The sinking of the Titanic was a design of the Jesuit order to get rid of the opposition to the creation of a central bank in the United States.
And the men on the Titanic were opposed to a central bank. They had to die. Among those were John Jacob Astor, Isidor Straus, Benjamin Guggenheim, and a host of other millionaires who were opposed to a central bank in America. Therefore, they had to be taken out of the way. And they were on the Titanic.
The company building the ship was owned by J.P. Morgan, who was himself an agent of the Rothschilds family. The Rothschilds being the bankers for the Pope and the Vatican. The main Jesuit targets were brought on board. The captain of the ship was Edward John Smith. It appears from his actions that Captain Smith was a Jesuit coadjutor, that is, a Jesuit who has taken the oath but does not wear the robes. A coadjutor blends into the scenery and never looks like a Jesuit priest. It is a veteran sea captain, Edward Smith, who orders the ship to travel through an 80-square-mile ice field at full speed on a moonless night. There had been over 8 telegrams warning the captain of the danger.
He's warned 8 times, slow the ship down, slow the Titanic down, you're going too fast. Not once stopped. knew there was an iceberg field up ahead, knew that he should have slowed down, but didn't. And so you look and you say, how was it that this man could go headlong into a field of icebergs and not slow the ship down, not be more careful? The only conclusion you can draw is, as a coadjutor of the Jesuit order, right through the line, the chain of command, he was told, sink the ship.
Okay. So it says, following is what we know so far. Who is on board? It says Hamish Harding, the British millionaire and chairman of aviation company Action Aviation, is among those missing. Dubai-based Harding had posted on social media that he was proud to be heading to the Titanic as a mission specialist, adding due to the worst winter in Newfoundland in 40 years, this mission is likely to be the first and only manned mission to the Titanic in 2023. All right, Harding was also on board the 2019 One More Orbit flight mission that set a record for the fastest circumnavigation of Earth by aircraft over both geographic poles. He doesn't stand still if he's not working hard. He's exploring hard, and Janik McKelson, an explorer and friend of Hamish, Shahzada Dawood, and his son Sulman, their family have confirmed they are on board. Shahzada is vice chairman of one of Pakistan's largest conglomerates, Ingro Corporation, with investments in fertilizers, vehicle manufacturing, energy, and digital technologies. According to the website of SETI, a California-based research institute of which he is a trustee. He lives in Britain with his wife and 2 children. Shahzada's interests include wildlife, photographer, which all that, really don't matter. But what matters is that he was dabbling in digital technologies, okay? Manufacturing, energy, and digital technologies, right? Through his SETI, a California-based research institute, right? Well, this man, all right, has spoken, which that's him and his son, has spoken at the WEF. All right, this is his information. Okay. Now, when you go down here, his career, look, it says Dawood has spoken at the World Economic Forum in the past of several occasions. See, occasions he has spoken at the World Economic Forum. All right. So it says here, the SETI Institute is a not-for-profit research organization incorporated in 1984, whose mission is to explore, understand, and explain the origin and nature of life in the universe, and use this knowledge to inspire and guide present and future generations. And see, they use these men. This is why they get rich, right? To guide present and future generations, right? Sharing knowledge with the public, the press, and the government. Sharing knowledge with the public, the press, and the government. SETI stands for the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. All right, so this shows you that they're dealing with certain controversial subjects. You know, one is the extraterrestrial. All right, and the technology. Okay, that the WEF wants to make mandatory for buying and selling, which is an implantable microchip. All right.